Speak in a slow and emotionally grounded voice, explaining that people who have been through too much often grow quiet, not because they lack strength, but because deep experiences have taught them understanding beyond words. Use a calm, reflective tone to describe how prolonged hardship slowly reshapes a person's character, shifts their priorities, and strengthens emotional boundaries. Narrate like a psychological observer, explaining that repeated pain trains people to conserve their emotional energy instead of wasting it on everything. Speak gently and thoughtfully, explaining how silence gradually becomes a protective shield after constant emotional pressure. Use a deep, steady voice to explain how trust naturally becomes selective when someone has been hurt again and again. Narrate with insight, explaining that emotional maturity often develops through survival and endurance rather than comfort and ease. Speak slowly and deliberately, explaining how these individuals learn to pause, watch, and understand situations, instead of reacting immediately. Use a composed and balanced tone to explain how real resilience is built quietly, without attention, praise, or recognition. Narrate like a psychology guide, explaining that emotional numbness is often a temporary coping mechanism, not the absence of feeling. Speak with empathy and understanding, explaining how true strength forms when vulnerability has been tested many times. Use calm pacing to explain how peace slowly becomes more valuable to them than excitement, chaos, or noise. Narrate carefully, explaining how difficult experiences sharpen awareness and improve understanding of human behavior. Speak with emotional balance, explaining why unnecessary conflict and drama no longer appeal to them. Use a reflective tone to explain how too much experience naturally creates emotional depth and insight. Narrate steadily, explaining how survival instincts begin to replace emotional impulsiveness over time. Speak calmly and clearly, explaining how strong boundaries are set without the need for justification or explanation. Use a grounded voice to explain how emotional self-control develops through hard lessons learned a difficult way. Narrate with maturity, explaining how compassion often grows from personally understanding pain and struggle. Speak slowly, explaining how these individuals feel emotions deeply but choose to express them quietly. Use a neutral psychological tone to explain how repeated disappointment builds caution and emotional awareness. Narrate thoughtfully, explaining how independence develops after relying on others becomes unsafe. Speak calmly, explaining how authenticity becomes more important than surface-level or shallow connections. Use a composed tone to explain how emotional exhaustion teaches simplicity, clarity, and focus. Narrate gently, explaining how wisdom often appears as quiet behavior rather than loud confidence. Speak slowly and deliberately, explaining how survival experiences gradually rewire emotional responses. Use a reflective voice to explain how strength becomes internal, no longer needing to be displayed. Narrate patiently, explaining how emotional growth is often misunderstood as coldness or distance. Speak with empathy, explaining how choosing peace becomes more important than explaining oneself. Use a calm and thoughtful closing tone to explain how pain reshapes identity without destroying it. End with a grounded and respectful voice, explaining that people who have gone through too much are not broken. They are refined, resilient, and deeply aware.